This is the news from Trekzone.
Well, not quite the news, but the title was right. It is that time when. Welcome back to it. Matt Miller with you. This is a return to the podcast for the first time in quite a few months. We went off a little bit, but then discovered a lot of people have been catching these podcasts. And because the almighty algorithm and the almighty ratings are the number one priority, the podcast is back. So hopefully you can catch up on these podcasts that you might have missed, or you're new to the channel and you don't know that we've done them. We have done so many shows over the years. We're into our 9th season now, 10-year anniversary of podcasting next year. A big gala event, July 10 next year. So look out for that. But we are up to episode 928 of Trekzone podcasts. So there's plenty for you to catch up on. Let's flash back now to 2019. Where we left that time when was just after the end of our Vegas or Bust tour. Conventions were still going on. This is pre-pandemic, just a few weeks before the pandemic really took hold. We went to Supanova here in Brisbane. We caught up with a couple of lovely actresses.
Hi, my name is Deborah Ann Woll. I played Karen Page on Daredevil and The Punisher and The Defenders. I also played Jessica Hamby on True Blood, and I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons nerd. So you can check out my D&D series, Relics and Rarities, on YouTube. How's that for an introduction?
That's amazing.
That's most of the stuff.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't allowed to watch True Blood.
Well, were you young?
I was. I think I was like
that would be
14.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Don't tell my mum.
I won't.
But I watched.
Mom, don't listen to this.
I watched the first season by myself, and I was like, well, this is a bit confronting.
It is.
It was so much fun.
I've realized that you should always make huge confessions on tape.
Yes.
That's the best place to make confessions.
Because then she can't get mad at me because I'm doing, what I'm studying to do as well. So
yeah.
I know. And then I think Daredevil was my favorite.
Oh,
but
cool.
Not to say anything to Charlie.
All right.
But The Punisher was better.
Oh no! Well, I'm not allowed to pick favorites.
No,
and I don't have favorites either. But yes, I mean, I think when we brought John onto Daredevil, we all so loved having him, and it was sort of inevitable that he would spin off and have something of his own. And I was just really tickled that they invited me along as well, because that relationship between Frank Castle and Karen Page was, it was so strong and such an interesting thing to play with, and it was something that was unique from the comic books. They had never interacted in the comic book world, so it felt like it was really ours.
Yes, I think I've read a couple of comics because I started, but then I, was a high schooler and I didn't have my own money.
Sure.
So the movies and the TV shows were how I got into Marvel, and then finding Karen Page, I think it was mostly due to you as well, that she became one of my favorite characters. And, like to see them on the big screen, but
we'll see.
You never know. The cancellations, Netflix taking off the Marvel series, but to bring them to Disney Plus, how was that? Did they? I don't know if you can say anything, but
well, I mean, I'm not like withheld from saying anything. I honestly don't know anything. I'm hired by people to come and do the job of acting Karen Page, and I try to do it to the best of my ability. And so many decisions and conversations are happening at a level that I'm not privy to. So I have to trust that they all knew what they were doing, and there are strong reasons for why decisions are made. Certainly I was disappointed. I loved playing Karen, and I had more story I wanted to tell for her, and I was excited about what I'd heard the writers wanted to do. So yeah, I was sorry to have lost that world and not get to play with those friends anymore. And in terms of a future of it, also still way above my pay grade.
Well, it's a Trackzone conversation. We're continuing Supanova week here on Trackzone, and I'm joined by the lovely, the amazing Amy Acker. Amy, thanks for a little bit of your time.
Oh my goodness, thanks for having me.
Now, you came to my attention as Root in Person of Interest, but you've done so much more. Can you give us a little bit of a background on your roles?
Goodness. Well, this is the 20th anniversary of Angel, which was sort of my first job that I was on.
As a child actor, right?
Not quite. But I just graduated from college. So I've kind of been in this genre world for my whole career, and I'm happy about that. I love getting to do stuff like this.
Is it a good genre? It seems that this is the genre that brings out fans and creates conventions and all sorts of things, and people come out of the woodwork
it's
just to see you.
I've met so many just really generous, lovely people this weekend and at all of these conventions, and have made friends with people who have, are so open about their stories and how these characters and shows have affected them. And also, as an actor, just getting to play in these kind of parts where anything can happen and you can have these complete transformations, and it's really exciting.
When you hear stories from fans about how your work touches them and shapes different career paths and the way that they act, and they might be cosplaying you and all this sort of stuff, what's that like to sit at a table and have people come up to you and go, oh my gosh, it's you?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, because you never really feel like when you're playing a part that it's having any, you're playing the character to
it's a job.
The way that you feel like is honoring that specific person, and you don't think like, oh, people might identify with this, or this could help someone. And so when you, after this time, there's people telling stories from Angel who were 20 years ago, and there's people from Person of Interest, and even The Gifted that I was just on. They're having stories about, well, this has helped me because of this, and I'm now a computer programmer because I was inspired by Root, and I'm like, that's amazing.